Welcome to Agitate the Airwaves, live from RC9 Network Studios. As always, I am joined here with Jonathan May. Hey, look, I got the right one this time.
You hit the right
baby.
button. We got the clap, son. Should be a good show. You got it right in the beginning.
Hell yeah. And our special guest, one of our special guests today is Jay Rebel. How you doing today, sir?
Much better.
That is wonderful.
What up, Jay? Been a minute, man.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
good to see everybody again.
But we're going to have another guest here in a second. We're going to have Kosha Dills. Let me see if he's in the waiting room yet. I don't think he is. So we'll just continue talking amongst ourselves until he shows up. So what do you got? Let's not make the announcement yet. We'll save that. But what you been up to lately while we wait for Kosha?
I had a kid, so that kind of set me back as
Congrats.
far as doing the show and all of that.
I wouldn't call it a setback. It's
setback from doing the show. It wasn't a setback in life. No, it's definitely an achievement. Okay,
it's a.
But I couldn't be doing shows every weekend with a newborn.
Yeah,
you know
a speed bump.
Right. Yeah,
slow down a little.
Right.
Enjoy the time with your daughter.
Definitely not a setback. Definitely not a setback.
So I have been doing that. I got a new job, moved. Just kind of trying to upgrade my life and do better for myself.
Right.
Yeah, you're in a gated community and shit now.
I know. I'm trying.
Yeah.
Got across the river, got out of Bell Fountain. I'm trying.
He's over in O'Fallon, bro.
I'm trying.
Well, look at you. O'Fallon, Missouri?
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay.
The real
man.
O'Fallon. O'Fallon, Illinois isn't real.
I'm trying.
You're right.
That's
trying
like
to do things right, I guess.
Man.
That's good.
That's a drive, man, for me, O'Fallon. My
It's
brother
a
lives
haul.
in Wentzville. I'm like, I haven't seen. He's been there for like 2 years. I still haven't seen his house. Yeah, bro, I'm just not driving out there.
Well, and it's so weird because it's like as soon as you tell people you live past St. Peter's, they're immediately like, "Rap."
That's a wrap. Yeah.
You're like, dude, it's only 32 minutes to downtown St. Louis from my house. Like
32 minutes. I mean,
you'll be okay.
yeah, I got to stop at McDonald's and get a meal. I'm tired.
Right. Like, it's the attitude people get. And
Hey,
you're
what you
like,
got?
I'm not that far.
Right. Well, I think I like to go to somebody's house and have fun. If I'm going to somebody's house, I'm usually going to drink, have a good time, and I hate being toasted trying to leave. And I got to Uber back.
Yeah.
Then I got to Uber back in the morning and go pick up my own damn car.
We got a couch that pulls out to a bed. The pool's across the street.
That's what's
Just
up.
like we're
Oh, you got a gated community. You got
we're
the
cool,
pool,
bro.
the pool and everything in there. What's
cool.
I have a pool. It's my apartment has a pool.
Yeah, nobody cares about your pool. Can blacks swim in your pool? I know you like the racist areas.
I live in Creve Coeur, right by the Jewish community center.
We do this
bro.
outside, Jay.
okay. I'm not.
We do this
I
outside, Jay.
told
Don't worry
you,
about it.
He calls me racist every episode,
Don't worry
He gets
about
it in at least
or he'll
one time.
allude it, or he'll allude to it.
I'm just waiting for him to come out. That's all. Just go ahead and say it.
Hurting my feelings.
I'm sorry about your feelings.
No, you're not.
Oh my goodness. Anything else going on? We talking about
Well, the
music?
big one. Yeah, the big one. We got the show December 10th.
Right.
Heck
right.
yeah.
It's been nice to get the
Right.
look on that and be back on a show that I'm excited to be on. I have a lot of history with Double F Gang and Jordan in particular.
Right.
So, familiar faces and people I love.
That boy is wild. Jordan is something else, man. I love watching him perform because Jordan is only. I was like, I don't know if he's acting drunk or if he gets drunk and he goes back up.
Sometimes he's drunk.
I'm like, but
Maybe both.
but won't miss a step. I mean, just going ham out there. I love watching him perform. Man.
He's usually actually drunk. He gets in that autopilot mode once he
Right.
gets on stage,
right.
so that he's one of those guys that can be wasted and still perform perfectly.
You guys get that? Do you get the autopilot thing when you get on stage?
Sometimes,
Yeah, but I don't
depends.
drink. I go a different way with things.
Okay. Yeah.
So-
Hey.
The first time I performed, you were there. You
Yeah.
hosted at
Yeah.
Foo Bar. I was drinking beer all night, and then in the middle of the performance, I regurgitated a bunch of foam.
Did you swallow it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I wasn't gonna spit it out on stage.
I mean, you could have hid behind the drum set real quick or something.
Yeah,
Baby
ever since
birded
then,
that
I
mug.
try to not drink too much beer before performing.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna drink, I'm gonna take some shots, but I try not to drink too much before a performance.
Yeah, I would just leave it
I already have a habit of forgetting lyrics, so
Oh, I don't know. Going up. Sometimes I've been on autopilot. I think going autopilot is the best shows I've ever done as
Yeah.
stand up.
no, I mean,
when it's just flowing and you just
so
whatever.
I did that festival, the Magic Moon Festival, this summer, and that's how it was for me there. I was probably dehydrated and a bunch of other shit, but I I didn't even notice if anyone was around me while I was performing.
Right.
I was just like in my own little world.
It's almost like a tunnel vision thing.
Yeah, and there wasn't a stage, so I was just like standing out in like this field. And it was, I don't know, it was just, I say that it, even though the sound was trash, like they didn't have big enough speakers for it being outdoors, it was my favorite performance because it was a performance where I just didn't give a shit the whole time.
Right. And I think you have to find that line. I think for me, my favorite performances, like if I look back on like the ones that I'm like, you killed that. I find it, the backstory is I rehearsed. You know what I mean? I went to the studio. I went over my set 2, 3, 4 times with the people that were involved with it so that when you get to that show, there's not these what ifs. You know it's going to go right. You know everything's going to click when it's supposed to. And you're not anxietied and stress-riddled about
I'm still
what
gonna be
could,
anxiety.
what if, because you know your people got you. You've done this 4 times, and it's went smooth every time.
Yeah, I'm terrified every time I go on stage.
I think I am until the beat drops. You know what I mean? Like that's when that happens, that's that tunnel vision like you guys are talking about, that it's like, okay, I know my job.
Right.
It's like there's no.
Yep. Same. It's just when I get that first laugh, same thing as the beat drop. It's like, all right, I'm in. I'm doing it. Yeah. Right. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah.
When you get your first applause after your song, you're like, okay, I got their attention.
Right.
You know, it's like, I'm in here.
It's gonna be a good show on the 10th. We got a lot of people coming on that one, right? There's a lot of people on that show on the 10th, ain't it? Travis?
Oh, yeah. We've got, I think right now we've got 7 or 8. We're trying to confirm one more. And then we're going to update the flyer. But I'm trying to, hang on.
I hate hosting shows.
No, you don't.
For MC. Oh, my
God. How do you hate hosting shows?
Because you got to track these prima donnas down. They know what time they're supposed to be, yo. They know they're supposed to be by the stage, or at least tell me something. I got to run. And everybody.
But we're doing it at Misty Nights, so it's not like it's a huge venue where you got to like.
It was like that at Sundays.
But look, some of your
But
artists,
we can tell the DJ to call them up. And yeah. It'll be all right.
It was crazy. It's always crazy. It's like you're working super.
Well, I'm DJ.
You got to give the credit to the good artists, though, that are always like right there.
Right.
They're ready to go. You ain't got to find them. Like,
we don't really run into that issue at Misty Nights.
No.
There's nowhere really to hide.
Right.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yell the name loud enough, they're gonna know.
I mean, hey Jay, get back! Hey, get over here, man! Come on, we gotta go.
I mean, it's not that big of a place, so there's not really anywhere they can hide. They might step outside, but you can smoke inside, so people really don't have a reason to go outside.
I didn't like cracking jokes, when I'm doing that, but nobody's coming to a rap show to hear a joke.
Yeah, it depends, because the one that we did there. That you ended up having to drop out of, that one, I did fucking great.
What?
I just sat on stage, didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I just sat on stage on a fucking stool, and I just fucking talked normal, and people actually shut up and listened.
I was gonna say, at least for I don't want to dap you up too hard. I don't want, you know what I'm saying, but the shows that you've hosted that I've been on, I've always enjoyed because there is like that break. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you can crack a couple of jokes, and it kind of switches the energy and. Right. I don't want to say certain acts put off different vibes.
Right.
And if the vibe switches to a vibe that's now not appropriate for the next act, you as a comedian can kind of get that ready for that artist. And you've done that in situations, even for myself, I know. Yeah. So it's like, I do think that's something that anytime you mix rock and rap, comedian and rock, it's a good thing.
Yeah. I'm going to be hosting a show this Saturday up at Misty Nights. The Heroes vs. Villains show. With Hitterman and Chills Ho. And so they've got team hero and team villain. And I'm the host. I'm going to be the anti-hero. And I'm just going to fucking make fun of everyone before they go on stage.
Is that like a rap battle type thing going on?
Performance battles.
Okay, performance.
So it's not like they're trying to joan on each other. It's whoever gives the best performance wins.
That sounds dope.
He originally asked me to be the host. I'm like, I don't like, I'm not host, but judge. And I'm like, I don't like judging.
Right.
People's music and performances, especially being a promoter.
Yeah,
that's kind of a murky territory to get in.
Try to get somebody to do a show for you. They're like, nah.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, there's going to be days where people have off performances. There's going to be days. I mean, there's going to be times where I might not like it myself, but there's still a market for it.
Right.
Like there's 100%. Plenty of people I don't like personally. I'm not going to drive around listening to their music, but I know they have their place within the scene.
I agree with
I mean,
that.
Kojak was a perfect example of it.
Kojak was my favorite person to go up after he did his set. And I didn't care how many minutes it was, 5 or 10 minutes in between, because I can crack jokes the whole time. Like, I'm about to run for the door. I thought the white boys about to start shooting. Like, did you see he came up here with a trench coat on? It's all black.
The first
He's selling candles outside. I thought the devil was about to come out in the middle of the stage. I don't know what the hell going on.
The very first time that I booked him was the first time we booked Kosha Dills. That was his first show ever, was opening for Kosha Dills.
Wow. What a small
world. Before he went on, I called him emo Justin Bieber.
Oh my God.
Never met the dude. And then that Hurt Boy, he was on it too, and I called him the same fucking thing.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. That's hilarious. Yeah.
Small world though.
Oh, you still waiting on the guests?
Yeah, he's asking for the link that I already gave him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And now he's calling me. Oh my God.
Don't put it on speaker. You live.
Actually, this might work. We just won't have his face.
Let me.
Hey.
Are we doing it with a?
We can do it this way. I mean, it's a video podcast, but so if you want to get on Zoom, we can have your face on the screen. Otherwise,
Yeah, let me get.
Like this.
No, let me get on the screen.
Okay.
Let me get on the screen, and can you send me the Zoom?
Let me get the link, and I will text it to you.
Technical difficulties over here. We got it. We got it.
Zoom.
Is it a live podcast?
Yeah, absolutely,
yes,
we're live right
now.
now. We can
we're
hear
live
everything.
on air.
Yeah, we're doing things.
Sorry, you hear the sounds of New York City.
Yeah.
I was going to, I had that Google Calendar thing, man. I thought those things worked.
They do sometimes. I thought I heard somebody in the background say, "I'm walking over here." I'm like, "Yeah, he's in New York." He's in New York.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Travis is trying to see the stuff right now.
Yeah, but there we go.
Beautiful.
My keyboard isn't working. What the heck is going on?
He's got crooked mobile, so it's
I'm
not
running back
functioning.
to my apartment.
Here, I'm gonna send it to your Facebook Messenger because my keyboard isn't working at all.
You got it?
No, my keyboard isn't working.
Do you need my new beautiful big phone?
No, I need you to.
Oh snap!
Like, why is my keyboard not popping up? I think I got to restart my phone. I'll send you the link here.
Yeah, I'm ready to log on. You got it.
What you doing for tomorrow, Travis? Happy Veterans Day.
Tomorrow, I am doing nothing.
You're not getting the free food? You're a vet.
Dude, it's never worth it. Like, they give you the shittiest shit that they have on their menu.
Where do you go?
Applebee's.
Applebee's, first of all.
That's the only one
it's
I
almost
know.
like
I don't know where else.
Applebee's, Chili's.
I don't want to go anywhere crowded too.
Oh my God.
I don't want to have to wait 30 minutes
Insomnia cookies
for a fucking thing of chicken strips.
You'll wait 30 minutes for a thing of chicken strips for your son.
I don't eat chicken strips.
Why not? Those are fucking delicious.
I prefer man food when I go out to eat.
I bet you eat the Pop-Tarts without the frosting, don't you? What is wrong with you?
No, actually, I like the fudge ones.
Ugh.
Fudge Pop-Tarts.
Why would you eat warm fudge?
You know what?
I'm just saying, it's not the two.
I can't deal with you.
I'm just
Will you
trying to
restart phone? God.
You could use mine.
How? The link is on my phone.
It's definitely cricket. I could have you could have sent me the link. I could have took a picture of it and typed it
No,
out.
they're trying to get me to upgrade because I got the S20 and the S22 is out. So they're trying to get me to upgrade. So they're sabotaging me.
23.
Like, why is my phone taking forever to restart?
Sabotage.
Sabotage. That's the song. That's Beastie Boys, ain't it? Oh my God!
What is going?
Your
why are you
phone is
optimizing
going through it,
apps,
bro?
What are you doing?
I feel like you lied to all the people about the guests that we have on the show.
I mean,
So,
I already
Jay,
emailed
what's
him the
going on?
link.
Yeah.
You know, oh, he's here.
Oh, he's in there.
Hey,
He's in there.
Dad. There he is. Let me.
There we go.
Let me turn
hold up.
him
We get this
up.
volume up.
Guys, damn.
There you go.
There you are. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Gosh, I'm like a brick wall here.
So you're only going to see me, but we got two other guys here. We got Jonathan May. He
What
hosted
up?
the last time you performed here at Sonny's.
Hey, Jonathan, what up?
What's
Here,
going
I'll
on?
turn to, there he is.
My God, what's up, dude?
Not much, bro.
And then we got Jay Rebel, who opened for you at that show.
Jay Rebel, what's up?
I can't turn
What's
it
up,
that
man?
far.
How you doing?
But yeah. So you have a lot going on lately since the last time we spoke.
I have
a lot.
I know, and we just spoke pretty recent. So
what you got going on right now? For anyone who's not familiar.
You know, did I speak to you when well, first off, thanks for having me on Agitate the Airwaves.
Absolutely.
I appreciate what you do, and you're cultivating a nice community over there, and you've kept it alive during because I came to play last time before the pandemic.
Yeah, it was right before it. Yeah.
2019, 3 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was like in December.
Yep. And I was living in Israel, and I went back to LA, and then I'm in New York, and started doing the viral like performances on the street, and did this Kanye diss for many reasons, and also because I'm on Wild 'N Out, and he's been a Wild 'N Out. There was a picture of him and Nick, and I was just like, I got to say something. And that has taken off. And tonight, I mean, it's been about 2.5 weeks since the video came out. I think tomorrow, maybe 3 weeks. The Hulu and ABC Nightline tonight at 12:37 a.m. according to them, and it's already on Hulu. You could watch it. I mean,
nice.
They used a music video, and they interviewed me for a documentary on Kanye. Already. So
wow.
It's on Hulu, which is kind of crazy.
Awesome.
They got the ball rolling it.
Yeah, and it's a really dope thing. I mean, there's a lot of great people on it that I know also, and so that's cool, man. I'm like excited.
That is awesome.
Just in general, that I just made something as an artist, and then people hit me up to use the song.
Yeah.
Did
you, when you made the song, were you thinking like, could this affect my ability to be on Wild 'N Out? Is that something that crossed your mind?
Yeah. What's crazy is because, it could, if it's not good or something, it could backfire.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's making a lot of noise because it's also good.
Yeah.
The other videos were going crazy, and people are like, yo, you are viral right now. And, the most viral people in New York were like, man, it's going, and that's a cool thing. But it's also you're cutting through a lot of the fat of a lot of the negative comments. Yeah. And then, the positive people are just reaching out to you, and they're like, hey, this shit's all,
How's it with
like the names that are in my inbox are bananas.
How's it with the cast members? You getting a lot of support?
Well, yeah, I just talked to one of my cast members now, and everyone's just doing their thing, and I'm known to be doing my thing within this.
Right.
So I mean, it's not like they're like, hey, check out. People don't really share each other's stuff a lot, but we're all people know what's up, and some people like it, and I don't essentially need anyone's support. It's getting traveled around with people.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I think I'm at the point in my life where I don't need a cosign from you or him or her to know my shit is fire. Because I know who I'm making it with. I know where I recorded it. I know the people that are contacting me. I know the real heads that called me up to help me get it in certain places are people that are hard to impress. Don't call me.
I think I was asking more about the camaraderie. Like, nobody needs anybody co-sign for you, but the camaraderie that, like, hey, I got your back, or, they make you, it's not awkward with the cast members, right? You know what I'm saying?
No.
Right. Good.
I mean, I don't, we're not on set, but it ain't ever awkward because people, it's not awkward unless I would make it awkward.
Especially all the things that go on Wild 'N Out. So
I think one of the points of the way the cast for Wild 'N Out is set up is it is a very diverse cast.
Right.
So everyone's coming from different angles regardless. Everyone's got their own stuff to worry about.
Yeah, I would say someone that I'm most in touch with who's like done a bunch of stuff is Godfrey. Very successful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Huge. And I'm just going back on his podcast, and I went on his podcast, which is out, and you can see the Godcast, and we were just talking about it, breaking down some stuff. And this was before I released the song. Now I'm going to go back on, and we're going to go over the film that went viral for Kyrie, just so you know, we could break it down to his fan base, and his fan base is really diverse.
Yeah, I don't think people know how smart Godfrey is when it comes. I think they see the comedy, they don't realize that guy is in depth. Is that, by the way, is that the connection between you and Reggie? Because I know you did the rap comedy battle with him the other day.
Oh yeah, I did
Reggie,
that the other night.
That's the guy right there. He's hilarious.
Reggie's great.
Yeah, he is.
We did the battle the other night. Shout out to. Oh yeah, because St. Louis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the GOAT. Come on.
It's like to put two together,
Right.
but yeah, I met Reggie through, I think, you know, just at the Olive Tree, which is a comedy cellar, and kind of, you know, he was doing. So I just battled Reggie the other day. I don't know when they're gonna drop the battle, and I don't even really do battles, but I mean, now I did.
Right.
And
right.
really cool. It was great. I'll leave it at that. And I know it was an amazing experience. But like when I was with Godfrey, I was just kind of telling him that when I was shooting this Hulu doc, somebody in Crown Heights in a Jewish neighborhood came up and they're like, "I know you from Godfrey's podcast." And Godfrey, me and him are very similar as far as that, like, he's very popular and encourages people to be more Black as far as their art form of being proud to be Black. I heard that from people while I was hanging out with them.
Right.
They were like, "Godfrey, you're the man. Like, you make me really want to dive into different topics in my comedy." And I get a lot of messages like that from Jewish kids. They're like, "You make me want to rap, and I wrote this rap because of you." And I don't want to say the kids are like good or anything. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the dopest MCs are writing me like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But kids, and you know, I don't know how great the comedians are either. But I was just, when I was hanging out with Godfrey, and I was like, man, that's really interesting. And one thing we connected was just on like Blacks and Jews and Igbo, like we connected on stuff. And this was just on set. And he's like, "Wow, you really know your stuff." And we just vibed on that. Plus my biggest battles were with when Godfrey was, my biggest moments on television was Godfrey was there. And I mean, as far as comedy, that's just something that's really new to me. You know, being funny is just, you know, as a rapper and just diving into, you know, funnier punchlines for television and writing and just stage presence as a comic versus a rapper, a lot of different things. But so we're gonna go, and you know, he's just someone who's just supported me, and Jack Thriller, you know, I had a big nice conversation with him the other day, Santuan, you know, so my group, I mean, there's a lot, there's plenty, you know. I think it's
awesome.
I think people support everyone in their personal shit there, you know what I mean?
Right.
Ultimately, the main goal of Wild 'N Out is to be funny. And someone asked me today too, like, what's your most important part of this Jewish rapper? Like, the most important part is you got to be a good rapper. Other than that, if your shit's trash, no one really cares. Any rap fan wouldn't care. Only people that, you know, only like whatever they like, you know, it's not good. If it's not good, it's not good. I don't know what else to say. You know what I mean? It's like, you can sing about whatever you want, but if it's not good, it's not good. You know what I mean? And when I get the calls that someone says, "Yo, this shit's fire," and I know how I made it, you know, because I've made trash songs throughout my life. You know what I mean? They're not the best. I was like, I wish I didn't put that out. Yeah. But I'm really happy I put this out. So, and I released 2 songs since then already, like just collabs with women that have gotten some buzz too, like a Halloween song and just stuff that's awesome. You got songs, you know what I mean? So that's another song I made.
I think something that sets you aside from a lot of people is your work ethic. Like, you are always on the go doing so many different things. How do you manage that? Like, having so much stuff to do all the time, like, do you have time to just like chill and watch TV or just try and relax for a little bit?
It's such a fun thing you say, watch TV. Well, I'm definitely, like, even while you sent me the message, which was my bad, like I was going to go for a run, and you know, I usually watch a lot of TV, but when I watch a lot of TV, I feel like I'm a little bit depressed or something. Like, I don't know, I'm just like numbing out on TV. But I want to watch TV with like intent to relax. Sometimes I just watch TV to procrastinate. So like last night I watched a movie, and it was a really amazing film. Like, and it was awesome.
What movie? You can't just say that.
Hey, it was amazing. Best thing I've ever seen in my life. But you know what?
The Automat. My significant person in my life, she took me to this dope museum, and it was fire. I was just like, I was like, this is amazing. This movie was like about old New York, so I was just like inspired by it. And I'm like, oh, I know someone. Whenever I see something, I'm like, it inspires me to like figure how can we do something? How can I buy a piece of, it was awesome. It was with Mel Brooks and it was cool. But like, I want to like watch TV with people. I want to be Rami outside of the Kosher Dills thing. But when it's Kosher Dills time, we get it done, and we're like, boom. But we're setting up the business and the music and just nonstop.
Right.
Writing.
But do you like set work hours for yourself or anything like that, or is it just
yes,
I
do
when you can?
And today it went over, But like I realize that right now I'm doing a lot of podcasts. Actually, I'm just trying to book tons of podcasts, just just to get into micro communities and tell more of my story so people could get the vibe of like my heart, what I'm saying? And not just seeing the stuff online and the links and the clicking.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. They're like, yeah, but work ethic for me is I don't even think I work that hard. And I tell people this all the time. I consider myself quite to be the lazy person. And I have to take on projects where, to force me to work because I never learned how to properly work within hours because I'll just work, 24-hour guy. Right. And that's not the way to do it. The way to do it is to work a tight 6 hours, 8 hours. Okay. Get up, go, and then cut it off and then do my personal work. And if I work less, I'll have more effect and impact in less time. That's why I don't do 90-minute podcasts unless it's like with Joe Rogan or something, Right. I mean, it'd be like a one and done.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm down to do short impact stuff,
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So what got you? So I was curious, like, what is the process of getting on? Well, what was the process for you getting on Wild 'N Out? Like, did you have to go through like an audition phase?
Especially going on straight as a rapper, because like you said at the time, you were born to rap than a comedy.
Yeah, I mean, well, everyone. It's a good question, and I like to detail it for people because a lot of people are curious, like, how do you get on Wild 'N Out? And I think I seen Nick post about it. And I saw the comments of like, tag someone who should be on Wild 'N Out. And there was like 90,000 comments. It was like, I think they're picking, I think they had 3 new cast members this season. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Which is insane, right? Through all that. And that is like a real thing. And my say would be that someone I know, I got an email to submit like a virtual, submit for the submission.
Right. So you got invited to
for the audition.
Okay, I got you.
But it wasn't like everyone was submitting that way. Right. And then I got there and I think we missed the cutoff. Supposedly they said it was cut off publicly. And I'm like, I didn't submit mine yet. I'm like, no, we still have it. And they somehow accepted it. And then I got a call that we were going to get invited down to Atlanta. And there was 15 of us plus about 5 others in the workshop auditions that were there previously for previous years. So I didn't know if they were going to cut them too, but some of them were already cast members.
Right.
Maybe they were considering, they just consider making cuts if they're not good enough, or they're just like, maybe they'll use them for 2 episodes instead of 10, something what people don't want. And we went there and then they cut people, they did the whole doc. You could watch it. It's called The Road to Wild 'N Out Season 18. Oh. It's a 40-minute doc. And it just basically documents the people that made it, didn't make it, the whole thing. And that was the process. And then we just had one day where it was rehearsal day, and then we were in the season.
That's awesome.
We're like, you just basically get an email. This is the show that you're on today, and these are the people you're going against. This is your team, and these are the games, and you just got to figure it out.
So do they record multiple episodes in a day?
Yeah. Yep. They're doing like 3 episodes a day. You go there. And like, if you're in a crowd, you'll be at one show, or there's like a midday show, late show.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, okay, so it's like they like people can just buy tickets to it if they live in the. Or
No,
if
it's free tickets.
Oh, it's
free
free.
tickets.
No, nice.
Yeah. So
that
you
bad boy
go,
packed
and it's
with the
like a little party. Yeah.
I know Jerry Springer
You
did the
guys,
same
you
thing.
guys are, and if you guys ever want to come, I could definitely get you guys there, and
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Yeah.
Let me get on camera and say that. I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm coming up.
No, seriously, come to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta
Bet.
ain't that far.
Bet.
It's closer than Colorado.
We can do a road trip.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I had friends come down from New York, so it's far.
That's what's up.
Heck yeah. But yeah. So, what do you have coming up? Like, do you have anything special coming up that you want to talk about?
I'm interested a lot in, I'm playing. I just did a New York Comedy Festival with Reggie, so he did the first battle rap event. That was really cool for me. One, because it was special, just in general, like to be part of New York Comedy Festival, to play a comedy festival.
Sure.
And then also, it was historical in a sense that it was the first time a battle rap event was done as a comedy thing. And Reggie worked hard on it, and I got, to go against Reggie, which was, he was pretty basically the main guy in the show. We were the main event. And then I have New Orleans Comedy Festival, which is next week. So that's like I'm playing at a cool venue out there called Republic. And yeah, I'm doing I have a new Hanukkah song coming out with a group called Gangsta Grass. It's like a bluegrass group.
Gangsta Grass? I love that.
Yeah, they're really dope. And I think it's gonna be a big song, big video. And like I said, the Hulu doc is now, it's called Yay, It All Falls Down, basically after. It's on ABC Nightline. It's out tonight. You can watch it on Hulu. Yeah, and it's a short 30-minute doc, and they have my song in there, so I'm just gonna be sharing that. And
Heck yeah.
I got some songs, man. I'm just writing. I'm in the studio. I'm doing comedy shows in New York City, and if people want to book me, then they're just going through and I'm just kind of working on myself. I just ran the marathon, raised a bunch of money for Holocaust survivors, and
that's awesome.
Season 19 and season 20 of Wild and Out are recorded, and that's coming out in 2023.
Nice.
So
yeah, keep
I'll
moving,
have that.
Keep
I'll have
doing
South
it.
by Southwest, which I'll curate stuff, and I'm also doing. I have an event called Bald Fest. It's like a comical musical show. And that's great, man. We just got a sponsor called Smooth Head Care. It's a big thing for me because it's not about kosher deals. It's just Bald Fest in general. And so if you got any we're trying to bring Bald Fest around America. So I'm working hard on just.
We got a lot of bald people around here.
I just got my balls. I got a lot of hair.
As I said,
I just got my balls. Can I bring my balls to Bald Fest?
It's a growing community. It's a growing community, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on, man.
I'm just like I said, man. I remember when I came down and we played that venue, and I had friends come from like Arkansas, and just you got something bubbling there. We did the one venue which I think shut down.
Yeah, Fubar. Now they're red flag.
Oh, Fubar.
Yeah, Fubar closed. The other one, Sonny's, we just don't mess with them anymore. They said some things they shouldn't have said.
They said some racist things, so we don't fuck with them.
Yeah, that.
I'm just gonna tell you.
I would have that word. I am not surprised.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember, what did they get? You asked for, you told them your food restrictions, and you ended up having to eat tater tots. You're like, man, these are the worst tater tots I've ever had.
I really said that.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Maybe if your tater tots are trash, you need to work harder.
Right.
That's just the way it is.
Wow.
But yeah, we appreciate you coming on, and it's been really awesome watching your growth, because we've known each other for like 3 years now. I think the first Kosha Dills show that was at Fubar, that was 3 years ago, I believe. Actually, no, 4 years ago for that one. Because the one at Sonny's was 3 years ago. So yeah,
it was at least 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4.
So yeah,
and a big thing I'm doing now, honestly, is when I'm touring. If I'm doing solo stuff, like I'm doing Buffalo in end of December, and I'm basically doing like an artist, chat, like a DIY talk.
Yeah.
To kind of help build the community of artists so they could kind of get something. Because I think a lot of times when an artist comes in and you have other artists selling tickets, they don't really get much out of it.
Right.
So I kind of want to be like, hey, listen, I think it would work really well with you guys. It's just, just giving some people some free game, really.
Yeah, you've always been really good to our artists here. Both times we've had you, I mean, you remember them. You like by name. I know you remember Weird Jesus. He was a favorite of yours.
Weird Jesus is great.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome. And like, you don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, if people, like I said, I kind of got on this thing after I went to you guys, I started learning how these videos are going viral and posting a video. And, I had stuff with Takeoff from the Migos. And I'm like, let me wait a couple days and post a video and just see what happens and repost it. And it's, or post a thing with Kanye, or now I have some content from the doc and that's getting thousands of views.
Right.
You have all like learning that it might not be the best to just go do random shows, but if you could gather up a lot of buzz, then when I go back out, then we'll make more money and we'll make more fans and just more people will see it. Like tons of people will be like, yo, I love that Kanye song. And then they're going to find the old songs that you've known for years.
Yeah.
So definitely. To me, that shows me that I have the right idea, but we just, like, everyone has to do the work for live shows to get people out. And I think that's a difficult game with a buzz. Yeah. So we at least got to get the buzz up. So to get people interested and to get everybody to want to work, especially local artists, like unless you're selling out everything when your name hits, we really depend on the communities that we go to. Yeah. And I think you just have to be, for me, it's just way more easier if I'm willing to give it my all.
Definitely. I think a lot of these artists have an issue, like the ones that do have an issue with like selling tickets to open for someone. It's like the point is eventually, hopefully you're going to be in that position as well, where you're going to be depending on the locals of that town that you've never been to, or that small town where people might not know you yet, or there might not be enough that know you. Like it's always a team effort no matter what. And I think that's what they need to wrap their heads around.
They get their hip hop news from you, and then, the other people get the news from their friends, and their friend brings out 20 people, and then they say, yo, one of those friends really loves me. And then they bring 5 of their friends just for me. So then we're, now we're all really connecting. Yep. And then people think, and with the videos, people think now they think, whoa, something's happening. He's popping off in St. Louis and in Detroit and Columbus, and this is really interesting. The local papers are covering it. So, the
internet is very important in today's world of music.
Yeah, and authenticity is, man, and that's what I always get when I come
to you guys.
So,
stay yourself. Well, but we appreciate you coming on. Again, everyone, Kosha Dillz, you can go on Hulu and see the documentary that has him featured in it, as well as you can find all of his music on YouTube, Spotify, pretty much everything. Yeah. Apple Music. Kosha Dillz with a Z. Kosha Dillz with a Z. Everybody go check him out.
Give him a hand claps, man.
Dillz.
I got to get on Travis to get here. There you go. There we go. Give Kosha a hand claps. There we go. You can't hear it. We clapping in the studio. We got you. We got you.
We appreciate you, man. We'll be in touch, though.
Thanks for having me.
We'll have to set something up in the very near future.
Let's do it. I can't wait.
For sure. Thank you. Bye. All right. I get really awkward when it comes to the end of interviews.
No, saying bye. I get awkward even saying bye on the damn telephone.
It's because we're all from the Midwest.
Does this motherfucker I love him or not? Yeah, I see. Love you. Drive home safe. I don't fucking know.
I think it's a common denominator.
No, when I'm on the phone, I just hang up. Like 9 times out of 10, I just hang up. I don't say bye.
That's pretty. No, you tell me bye when you talk.
No,
to me.
I'll say I, and then hang up.
Oh, okay. I'm cool with eyes. Yeah, you hang up with me, I'm calling you right back. What the fuck was that, Charlie?
All right,
yeah.
But so back to J Rebel. J Rebel, we got an announcement to make, right?
I think we do. It's a pretty big one.
So, how long? Let's start with this. How long have you been making music?
publicly or on my own?
Publicly, since J Rebel debuted.
I made a YouTube page that I was doing covers on about 9 years ago, and I was getting
You were J Rebel in that?
Yeah.
All right.
And I got a couple hundred views on it, and
that's what's up.
You know, a lot of people.
Then, boy.
Yeah, right. A lot of people laughed at you and kind of criticized you, and hey, you're gonna be a rapper. And it's like, yeah, that's what I want to do. And then I had a friend that kind of stepped in, and you know, he helped me out. That was, I guess, 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. Is that accurate?
It would have been like 4.
Yeah, about 4 years ago.
It was around, because it was when Firebird was still open, because it was at Firebird.
That was my first,
and that was around
show.
The same time as the first Kosha Dills show.
Right. So I was really getting, you know, I got a lot of good looks coming into the scene. I had a lot of people in my corner fighting for me. I got to perform at Pops and Firebird and Foo Bars, and I generated a buzz pretty quick, I feel like. But then things kind of slowed down with the pandemic. I had a pretty successful headliner during the pandemic. I was pretty happy about that. You were the backbone of. So hit the hand claps real quick. You know what I'm saying?
No, don't give me hand claps.
Thank you.
I felt like we did really good with that. I think that goes back to like what you and Kosha were talking about with the teamwork. I think everybody really came together and did their part for that show.
For the most part.
And it
there's always at least one straggler.
There's always the one straggler.
Right.
But I think it was a good show, you know, for having a cap and all that. I think we did a good job. And
definitely.
I've had a lot of highlight career points. I feel like even only 4 years in, I've got to open for Chris Webby, Burden, Jelly Roll, been a part of some pretty big shows and locally, and so about 9 years, I guess, publicly.
But now it's time to expand. So
I agree.
You've been all local, St. Louis, doing shows and stuff. Now it's time to expand. So we're announcing.
Would you hurry the fuck up and do? Jesus.
We are announcing.
What is it?
I mean, they've waited long enough, right?
December 9th, his debut album.
Yo,
Rebels Always Win. Will be available everywhere. It's the day before the show too, so you guys got a day to. If you aren't familiar with it, I mean, he's got some songs on there that he doesn't perform very often. We're gonna listen to one a little bit here later. So you can learn them so you can sing along on the 10th.
That's dope, man.
Heck yeah!
Great album cover too.
Yeah,
what was that? What was that?
For that.
I said great album cover too.
Yeah, I did that.
Transcendent
No,
ATA.
man, it's like he fucked your name up.
No, he did.
Yeah, it's fucking.
I was
like, I double and triple checked that, bro.
How did I get both of y'all? How did I get both of y'all? I was trying to get him.
I did look. I was like, wait a minute now. No, it's this is definitely a big accomplishment for me. I feel like you know, was the biggest thing holding me back. I'd done some shows in other states and stuff, but as far as expanding, if you don't have that base to take them back to,
right?
Like,
yeah.
Hey, go here. This is where I'm at.
Exactly.
Show your friends this. Go show your mom this. Go
Attention spans are very small nowadays, so if you're not in their face at least somewhat all the time, they're gonna quickly forget, especially if they don't know you in real life.
Right.
And I think that's kind of what happened with me. I think, you know, I did slow down my show counts. I didn't have any place for them to go to a home base to keep me relevant in their minds, and I just kind of was like, you know what? And like I said, I had a baby, so it was like, now's the perfect time to step back, maybe focus on the other side of that, try to get something mastered, put out, available. There'll be 9 songs on this album. So, like Travis was saying, some of them aren't really my most popular songs. They're not songs I generally perform.
They have the potential to be your popular ones.
I hope.
You just haven't performed them that much, so people don't know them as well.
Right. They're not When the Boys Roll Up. They're some of the ones that you guys haven't heard as much of. So I'm hoping
you guys.
It's got
some really raw, nitty gritty stuff on here.
Yeah, some stuff. There's some emotion in there. There's some turn up. There's some.
The one we're listening to now. If you're in your car, if you don't have decent speakers, you might want to turn it down a little because you might break your speakers with this one, bro.
It's got some 808s in there.
But without further ado, let's listen to it. So
let's hear that.
It's called "Sweetest Temptation." My phone is starting. I forgot I restarted it.
God.
Well, give us a little background of it, though. Like,
of the song?
if you want to. I mean, I know you said there's some personal stuff to it.
So I mean, obviously, like when you hear the song, it's pretty self-telling. Just being appreciative of your significant other. Like, you always have somebody there, and I think you always need to, especially as an artist, I think you need to make sure that your significant other feels important in your artistry.
Right.
Because I feel like if they don't, then that's when, I mean, everybody's dealt with it. The questions of, are you doing this? Are you doing that? What are you doing? Are you coming home only to me? Like all that stuff starts getting said and thought about. Whereas if you you know, hey, you mentioned your girl in your song. Everybody knows you got a girl. Don't come at me with that energy. Keep it over there. Like, so that was one thing I've always tried to do through my music, because I always have been in a relationship since I've been an artist in the scene.
Right.
And I don't want that. I don't want that energy. I don't want that attention at all.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to listen to Sweetest Temptation. This, again, will be on Rebels Always Win, which comes out December 9th on all major streaming platforms. So here we go.
Finally.
Oh. Are you doing
I want nothing.
I am my sweetest temptation.
That was funny.
Say, can you feel the sensation? Girl, I am my sweetest temptation. Say, can you feel the sensation? Say, can you feel the sensation?
Bitch, you got all A's, cause she's a scholar with the head. I would never go switching for pennies and nickels. Already got a dime in my bed. Say they wanna go platinum, I go diamond instead. And buy you that range, sweetest temptation. I like how that tastes. Think they doing something, they running in place. They speak behind screens, but not to my face. Don't know a thing about loyalty, and that's something she taught me. Still rocking that STL fitted, and that's something she bought me. You never lost me when I was down bad and tripping. You were the one that caught me. No feeling sorry. Head on your chest, just so I can hear your heartbeat. Do you feel the sensations? Music that I'm making, stay holding me down till I bring home that bacon. I'm putting in work and you notice they patient. My time is coming when we both already know that. Trying to get famous, stack us a check and we blow that. On private jet flights, but only for two. Penthouse suites with something to do. Come home to the loop, cause we ain't never leaving. Hitting lines in the whip, that's really speeding. Help me fight wars with all my demons. Now me is something I believe in. And if you know me, you know I've been chiefing and thinking, when will I really get my chance? Casually throwing bands in their hands and send a shopping all in friends. Damn, what did you want it? What did you need it? Take me in lumps and I'm still above even. Earned all my stripes, I came straight out the cement. Split it with you better believe it. I can't slow down till we finally get there. You know I'm a rebel, baby, I don't really get scared. Gas in the bunk with the fumes in the air. While she bent over, get the feeling on her hair.
Girl, I am my sweetest temptation. Say, can you feel the sensation?
No.
Are you doing
I want nothing.
Oh, there we go. All right. It started over.
It's okay.
But yeah, man. Woo. So the beat, that Tracy Hargraves made that, right?
Correct.
Or AKA, what's his?
Funko Creep.
Yeah, Funko.
He's got
Creep.
a couple of them. He got a couple of them. Egan's Rat's drummer, Tracy Hargraves, Funko.
Yeah. That beat is crazy.
Dude, it's wild.
Thank you.
I was listening to it in the car today at work whenever you sent it to me after you finished mastering it. I'm going to make sure I say that because he helped me out quite a bit with that.
Yeah, we need a master.
Hit your boy up.
Hit your boy up.
Because he does a good job.
TranscendSTL.com.
Was that a banjo in the background? That was dope when that kicked in too.
I'm not real sure what that is, but I like it.
It sounded like
that.
It sounded like an electric guitar, like a steel guitar.
Yeah, it's just a cool
like
sound.
a country-ish electric guitar.
I don't hear electric guitar and think country. Like they don't go together. I think banjo.
No, they use electric guitars in country music.
Yeah, I mean they did, but they were. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
How much country music do you listen to?
I listen to a lot of it.
Like what?
A lot of it.
Name your favorite country artist.
Chris Stapleton.
Okay.
I got friends in low places. I listen to a lot of that
and
music.
you don't think any of them use electric guitar?
Let's give them something to talk about. That ain't
None
got
of
no
them-
electric guitar. That was a damn banjo, bro. What you talking about? You gonna question me?
Let's give them something to talk about.
And you know what I'm talking about. See, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
It's definitely an electric guitar in there, bro.
I used to DJ for years,
Right.
man. Come on.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you tell me that? I've been.
My cousin was Kevin.
I don't wanna
You remember
DJ
Kevin Care from
anymore.
Magic 108 back in the day? That's my cousin. I've been DJing since I was 12.
So why haven't you offered this information until now?
Because you don't like to pay. You still owe me $50. You
Jeez.
still owe me $50. I sent you a
The
request
truth comes
last
out.
time we was here. Give my $50.
While I'm here though, I will say, while we mentioned Tracy, I just want to shout out to him because he has kind of been the rock behind J Rebel studio. You know, he's kind of been a mentor, taught me a lot of stuff about it, the ins and outs that I didn't necessarily know. I still don't know.
Right.
You know, I have a lot of people I look up to, and he's definitely one. He keeps me going in the right directions, I think.
Tracy's a good dude.
I agree.
He's a good dude.
I agree.
I mean, he did the virtual stuff during the pandemic.
Right.
give
Try to keep people, yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
An option to perform because at that time we had, you know, all these venues were closed or on strike or shut down or whatever it was, and it was like there really wasn't a whole lot of outlets for your St. Louis artists to even be booked. That wasn't happening. Like the fact that we even got our show off was kind of crazy. Like we didn't.
It was the first one. No, it was the second one back.
Right. So it's like, you know, as an artist, especially as an artist that like for myself, like my peak was happening right before pandemic. So it's like,
I mean, shit. I
like-
released my first music right before the pandemic. So
right. So it's
I
like
feel
you're
you.
like shit. You know, here I am opening for these national acts. I'm running around the country.
That's
I'm
another thing,
performing
too.
in Miami. I'm doing all this stuff. I don't have the streaming necessarily, but my local buzz is great.
yeah,
I can't do nothing with it because 6 weeks after I do all that, the whole country goes,
yeah. I mean, as a promoter, like it killed my momentum too. Like because
Right.
I had the Caskey show, I had the Wild and Free show. Like we were doing over 300 per show.
right.
And then suddenly,
Good time.
pandemic hits.
It was a good time.
Well, we got off the 314 day show, and then the next day, everything was shut down.
And I think the pandemic has lasting effects on the crowds. I mean, I feel like,
Oh, it does.
yeah, I feel like everything that happened during COVID was like, it messed up the local show scene. Like there are not these
People's
huge,
habits have changed because of it.
exactly.
So people don't like. There's a lot of people who used to go out all the time. They just don't like going out anymore because they got used to being at home.
being at home watching Netflix.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm one of them. You know, like I said, like I got that was my life. I wanted to be with my daughter. I wanted to be at home. Didn't want to miss nothing. And it was like, I don't need to be out here every weekend at a show.
Yeah.
You know, to go out and support my
same.
closest homies or whatever when they're
why
performing.
We're only doing a
Absolutely.
show a month
But
at
it's
most.
like, it's like there was a point I felt like I was out every weekend, every Saturday, Sunday. I was out at a venue, and it's like, why?
Well, there's also on top of that. So like, one, the crowds have changed.
Right.
Two, the venues have changed. We don't have mid-sized venues anymore.
Yeah.
The ones we do have want to charge way too much.
Yeah. Astronomical amounts.
And then also because of our reduction of venues, like, yeah, we had Red Flag during the pandemic, but now they're booked up with national acts,
Right.
which more power to them. That's the whole point.
That's
to
why
make
they built
money.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hurdles that we're still getting over, but I do have hope for the future.
Absolutely.
I think we just got to figure it out and hope that these other venues that are overcharging see their errors in their ways and figure out that if they want a full calendar, they're going to have to do something different.
And I will say, I think the fans too, you know, they need to remember why they loved coming to live shows and what that energy was and what that was when you had a crowd of 200 people versus a crowd of 50 people.
Well,
you had a better time.
I'm going to flip it as
everybody.
well. I'm going to flip it one more time. It's also on the artists as well.
To sell the tickets and get the people out. Absolutely.
And if something's not working, try something new.
100%.
So like for instance, I had to sell 100 tickets for that Cardinals game at $20 a piece. I didn't hit up. Yeah. Well, I had help from Lou, but honestly, like the majority of the people that I sold tickets to had never been to a local show.
Right. Because
in my mind, and I've been pushing this on the artists a lot, is like step outside your comfort zone. Hit up people that you haven't really talked to. And not necessarily hit them up and be like, hey, you want to buy tickets? Hit them up and start having a conversation.
I agree.
Get to know people. Kosha Dills, that's how he got where he's at. Talking to people and creating actual relationships with people. You don't have to be like their best friend, but, you know, be casual and comment on their posts. That
I always say
use
use an icebreaker. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna be the artist that's walking up to somebody to introduce your music, right? Like I feel like you never want to be the artist that walks up and is like, hey, I'm a rapper, listen to my stuff. I feel like that's you're being pushy. You know what I mean? You're being kind of rude. Like some people don't like rap. You can't automatically assume they even want to hear it.
Right.
So I'm like, hey, do you like hip hop? Who's your favorite artist? You know, and I get a feel for.
And don't be ashamed to piggyback off of other people's fans.
Right.
Like if you know someone who makes music similar to yours, fucking start talking to their fans.
Right.
Like that's the whole point.
Right. So like if you ask them, hey, you know, you listen to hip hop? Yeah. Well, who's your favorite artist? NF. Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like because I'm kind of. So
yeah. I mean,
I can work.
I'm talking about even local rappers and other local artists. Like if you make similar music, same style, same genre, whatever, and you know they already like it, if we only wanted a show where it was a single artist's fans paying attention to them, we would only put that single artist on a show.
Right.
The whole point of putting multiple artists on a show is to blend the fans together to make a fan base that can be shared amongst those artists.
Right. So, you like this, you probably like that. You like this, you like that. Yeah.
That's the whole reason why national acts will have supporting acts. Right. Because a national act, regardless of who they are, for instance, let's say who's someone who's been through Chris Webby.
Yeah.
So let's say Chris Webby. Chris Webby, while he has a solid fan base, let's be real, he's not going to sell out Red Flag by himself. But he won't. I promise. He's been here so many times. Look, listen. He won't sell it out because I don't even think Red Flag even sold out for him. But the fact is they have these other supporting acts like Echo, who is similar style. He has a little bit of different stuff he's been doing. He's doing a lot more of the pop punk stuff
right now.
He's got a huge buzz. So the whole point of them being on a tour together so they can blend fans.
I'll tell you, Echo is
fans.
Echo is one of like the coolest artists I think I've ever met. When I did that show with Webby, I had Echo, Webby, Locksmith, and Jared Benton. Yeah. So it was like I had conversation with Echo. This was before he did Butterfly, before he did, and then he was just the opener for Chris Webby, and now he's Echo. So I messaged him one time just on a whim.
I mean, he was Echo to me then.
I was like,
I was familiar with him.
Yeah, we knew. But, like the average people, not so much. And I messaged him on some like, hey, I opened for you in St. Louis. I seen you were coming back. Love to see you, blah, blah, blah. He responded. And I was like, wow. You know what I mean? Like where you're at right now to respond to me and actually like remember who I was and stuff on a, what was that, 160 show tour. It's like, you're a real one, dude. Like,
yeah, I've had artists that, they're not super famous. I wouldn't even consider them. They're famous on YouTube.
Absolutely.
They're YouTube famous.
Right.
And I've messaged him. There was one, Ryan, I can't think of his name right now. And I like him a lot. Ryan Oakes.
Okay.
Ryan Oakes. He's a rapper turned pop punk dude. He does the mixture and stuff. And I messaged him one day. I was like, hey, we make similar music. How much would it cost for a feature? And he told me his price.
That's what
it's out of my budget.
It's up there, right?
It's out of my budget, but I thought it was cool that he responded. Like, because if I did that to Drake would probably just not even read it.
No,
because they get so many messages, and I understand that. I didn't expect him to respond.
Not at all.
But like whenever I started booking these bigger bands for interviews back in the day, whenever ATA first started. When I first messaged Broadside saying, hey, we want to do an interview with you on our podcast, I never expected them to respond. And then they did. Whenever I contacted Kevin Lyman, the founder of Warped Tour, for an interview, I never expected him to respond at all. And he did.
Right.
So, like, that's the thing. Like, you never know until you take that chance.
Right. I agree with that, too. I agree, because there's been, like, I'm not going to, like, disclose exact information, but there's been turn-ins for some of the national acts that I've been given, and I'm like, man, you know, like this is a job. Like, am I going to be able to do this? Like, you know, and then you have your budget for your regular life that now you're like, okay, if I can't do this.
Oh yeah.
You know,
look,
like,
I'll put it all out there. For,
you know,
like
your
the Cardinals
electric
thing,
bill is coming out.
Cardinals thing was you have to turn in $2,000.
Right.
If you don't, you still owe $2,000. There was a contract, and they gave the tickets on consignment. So it's like if you get fronted by the weed man,
right,
you don't get to turn back in what you didn't sell.
Right, that makes sense. I mean, with Webby, okay, so if we're talking numbers, with Webby, it was pretty easy. Chris Webby happens to be one.
I mean, this is pretty. You can give the numbers because it's public information.
He's one of my favorite artists. So I turned in $100 deposit while I was in Miami performing, and then I came home. I met with Cato, who was the promoter on the show. Yeah. I turned in the rest of my ticket sales, and that was one of the first shows that I actually made money, and like a decent amount. I took home like $250, and I was like, whoa, like how did I do this? And then I was like, oh yeah, because you're opening for Chris Webby. Like that's not hard to sell that name. Plus you had such a great supporting cast that was in that coming up kind of stage. Right. So it was a great show. I had a lot of fun with that one, and Foo Bar was sold out, and it was great. Like, that was another one of those looks I got that was too, just like, how did this happen?
That's the thing, too, I want to mention as well for these artists that want so bad to get on national act shows. Don't take it just because it's offered to you.
Agreed. Negotiate.
Negotiate. Make sure that you can actually cover it if you can't do it, because it can be a career killer. If you get offered a show and you're told that you have this minimum turn in that you need to do and you can't afford it and you don't make it and you turn in less than that, they're probably not going to tell you this. And this isn't how I work, but I'll just put it out there. Mike Judy, we interviewed him. He told us this like on air. If you tell him you can do something and you're not able to do it, he looks at it as a lie.
Right.
And he's not going to not let you perform, but he's also probably not going to be asking you to do it again because
exactly.
Nobody else. Yeah.
And I think that, okay, I can touch on that too. So like I did Webby. Well, then right afterwards, Mercules came to town, and they were like the same promoter, all this stuff. And he's like, do you want this one? And I was like, well, what are we talking? And it was 500. And I'm like, listen, I just did 600. I just grabbed every fan that I possibly thought I had. Like, to do that again is crazy.
And Mercules is a smaller name.
Right.
Too,
I was like, can you work with me? Especially at that point, this is 3 years ago. Yeah. So I'm like, and
it's can
you help me out? Can we talk? And he wound up settling on 280. You know what I'm saying? So that's almost
Hercules
half.
Isn't like, that.
And I didn't pull his leg.
As broad of a fan base.
I wasn't yanking his chain. I was just like, hey, dude, help me out. Yeah. I can't do that 2 times in a row. And he's like, well, then how about this?
Yeah, just be honest. I mean, the worst that'll happen is they'll be like, no, man, we can't do that. And then they'll move on to the next person. Doesn't mean it's better to tell them up front that you're not in a place at the time to be able to do that. And then they'll respect that you're not wasting their time or money or effort or anything. Because, I mean, you got to keep in mind with national acts, people will be like, well, why would I pay to open for someone? Because I mean, they're going to bring a good number of fans themselves.
So to put it like this, just like perspective for all of you local artists out there, like for me, when I did Webby, when I looked out into a sold-out Foo Bar, the only thing going through my mind in that instance is that is 350 people that can walk out of here remembering who I am, that can go tell 350 other people.
Yeah.
So you have to understand that in the game you have to pay for exposure. That's why features cost money.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Too.
Why? Because you're taking their fan base.
And here's the thing too, though. All right, look, if you don't want to pay, you don't have to pay. If you have the juice to actually sell the tickets,
I agree.
Because there's always gonna be a cut that you get to keep of each ticket sale,
right?
If you can hit that mark. Right. So, I mean, if you got the juice, then do it. If you don't have the juice to sell the tickets, then you need to think long and hard. Can you afford to drop that bag? So if you can't, then you might need to just hold off a little bit. Just because it's not your time at that moment doesn't mean it's not ever going to be your time. There's always going to be shows.
I don't want to talk about like what name of the artist it is, because obviously other artists have taken that show and then now done that show, and I don't want to talk about contracts with that because it didn't go through, but I have in my inbox probably 3 contracts that were presented to me that for national acts that I was like, I can't right now. You know what I mean? I have a bill due. My daughter needs something. my car part just, you know what I mean? So it's like, you have to be smart about this. Like, you have to balance the work life versus the money, and you have to be. Because like you said, if you fumble a bag that's your electric bill, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So we're actually out of time, but again, I want to thank Jay Rebel. Make sure you guys stay on the lookout. December 9th. If you go to Jay Rebel's Facebook page, put the link on your Facebook page.
I'll put it on my artist page and my personal page.
So if you go to his page, just look up Jay Rebel. You can get a link to be able to pre-save it on Spotify.
Yeah.
But yeah, make sure you guys listen to it on December 9th, and then come December 10th to Misty Nights for a very awful Double F Gang Christmas.
Yeah.
And we'll be updating the flyer and putting it out on our page in the next week, hopefully. We're trying to confirm one more act. But we want to thank you guys. Make sure you guys check out Jay Rebel again. Go follow his Facebook page. You can check me out, Degenerate314, on most socials, and you can check out my music on shit. Jonathan May, make sure you guys check out. What is his name? High Five?
Yeah, it was High Five.
High Five. Make sure you guys check out High Five. Just type what's the name of the production?
Monster Kid Productions.
Monster Kid Productions. Go to Monster Kid Productions on YouTube and look up High Five. It's a very funny little short film that Jonathan May made with
and I was
James
naked.
Dean.
And I was naked, so you could see.
He wasn't really naked.
I was naked. My dick was out.
I'm not going to watch it now.
I bruised like 5 people.
But it's actually really funny. Deadpool's jerking off while watching him have sex.
Wow. Okay.
Hey, don't forget, we got to shout out Dustin Diggs, man.
Of course. Shout out to
Dustin.
Dustin Diggs and Artists United Network. Again, this is our final episode on here, so we want to thank you for everything, for letting us.
Appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely great to be a part.
For letting us be a part of Artists United and everything you've done for us over the years. Yeah, we'll see you guys when we see you.
It's next season.
Come out December 10th. Also, if you want to come out this Saturday to Misty Nights, Hitamane is putting on a Heroes vs. Villains show where it's going to be some performance battles. I'll be hosting and making fun of all the acts before they go on.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see you guys. Thank you. Bye.
Yep.